is out of Hanan, out of the amazing sire, the legend, Ansata Halim Shah, who for some time was on lease to Dr. Nagel's place as an exchange to his stallion Jamil, who went to the United States, to Ansata Arabian stud. Halim Shah changed German Arabian horse breeding, and he had a huge impact throughout the whole world. Shamech Al Danat, a stallion, he's a chief sire here in the farm. You will see him later on. Those of you who attended our show saw him in the senior stallion class. He's by Ajmal Al-Qut out of Ajmal Sharifa. Sharifa is by Ansata Sirius out of Jazi Al-Rayyan, and Jazi Al-Rayyan is by Alidar. A gorgeous mare just in the beginning of her breeding career. She's just now 6 years of age. Has already been shown successfully. A mare with a gorgeous charisma, but also substance, solid conformation, and an amazing ground covering movement. She loves to show off. Beautiful tail carriage. In the most charming way, lift it up in the front and see how she moves. It's a light, it's a powerful ground covering movement. Her pedigree reads like the who is who. I had just mentioned that Mohammed Al Omar just only set up his breeding program with the beginning of this new millennium. And when people congratulate him for all he had already achieved, he always says very humbly, this was all possible only because of the support of my dear friends from Kuwait, especially, and also those from abroad. He never says, look, this is what I have done. He is the most charming and very, very humble and polite person. Dedicated breeder with a true love and passion towards the straight Egyptian Arabian horse. He seeks competition as he doesn't want to get stable blind. He wants to know how other people are seeing his horses. And I believe we opened this presentation right away with the highlights. The 2014 born Setor Al Danat by Shamech Al Danat, NK Laila by Salah Eldin. Thank you. It looks like we don't have enough Europeans here because they would give a big applause. Thank you very much. And here we go with the filly of the mare you have just seen. This is Nur Al Danat. Just about to be weaned, or maybe just weaned, by Nureddin Zain. As his name says, the suffix of his name says, he was bred and owned by famous Zain Arabian stud, Osama Al-Qasimi. Nureddin was on lease for some time here at Al Danat stud and still is used every now and then to a selected number of fine mares. Nureddin himself is not a very big horse, but a very charismatic stallion with a gorgeous pedigree. And Mohammed Al Omar rightly said, I use him like the spice on a very good meal. And I have given this stallion, this big mare, with a lot of substance, charisma and expression. And I like to have this little extra touch of sweetness. And look at this filly. She has it all. A wonderful combination of this exotic looking Nureddin And the great broodmare, Seto Danat, as said, she's just at the beginning of her career. But what a wonderful start. Thank you very much. This is Nur Danat. Very exquisite filly. One can only congratulate Mr. Mohammed Al Omar and his team for having bred this gorgeous little filly. By the way, not for sale. And in a minute, ladies and gentlemen, we will have with us Afra Al Danat. She's born in 2013, daughter of the great stallion and sire Sinan Al Rayyan out of Hayafa Al Danat, who is by Naif Al Danat. Naif Al Danat, one of the first stallions who were bred here in the place. Given trust and faith of Mohammed Al Omar, he was shown successfully in his first years at our first shows in Kuwait, national championships. He did extremely well and later also made himself a name as a good sire. Sinan Al Rayyan, the sire of this Afra Al Danat, of course needs no introduction, now residing at Al Wab Stud. We have the pleasure to have Mrs. Jennifer Ogden here with us today. Managing and supervising Al Wab Stud, doing a great job over there. Happy to have her now for the upcoming 2 days, the stud visit tour here in Kuwait. Sinan Al Rayyan had a huge impact to Kuwait Arabian horse breeding. He was first on lease back to Al Rayyan farm, as this was part of the agreement when he was sold as a youngster. Then resided for many years here in Kuwait. Gave a special touch to many of our horses. Then went to Al Wab Stud, where he became again a very influential breeder and puts definitely his stamp also on Qatar Arabian horse breeding. Afra Al Danat, a mare with good size. See the length of leg, this beautifully nicely shaped neck, clean in the throat, good substance, nice well laid back shoulder. She has the sweetness which was given by Sinan Al Rayyan, I guess, in her face. Beautiful eye, broad in her forehead. Nice young mare. Thank you. And we will see now, step by step, 3 offspring out of the mare you have just seen. The first to come in is Alanud Al Danat. She's by Shamekh Al Danat. several times champion, not only here in Kuwait, but also abroad. He was participating extremely well at the World Straight Egyptian Championships in Rome. And it looks like this combination had really worked well. A very exquisite filly with a most pleasing head. Very nicely set eyes. Fine ears. And I see some gorgeous black eyes, beautiful. Wow. Really something special. It looks like this combination with Shamer Al-Danat truly had worked out very well. Let's see if Mohammed Al Omar repeated this combination. He already used the son of Shamer Al-Danat, Ezza Al-Danat, on this mare, and you will see her get later on. Very nice filly. And as you all horsemen or women, you know, this filly has the potential to move, although now she is cantering a bit more than trotting. Doesn't yet have the same self-confidence like the older ones, but the potential to move is really there. She gets her hind legs nicely under the body, lifts herself up in the front. Beautiful tail carriage. Thank you. The next to come is a promising boy. His name is Warad Al-Danat, born 2018. He's by Danat, a stallion who already had made himself a name as a great sire. He's currently on lease to Al Shakab and Al Rayyan farm in Qatar. Sheikh Hamad loved the babies he saw by Danat and decided that this stallion should be a very nice addition to his breeding program. He gave him a great group of carefully selected mares, and we wish him great success with using Danat. Also was shown successfully here in Kuwait as well as abroad. Resided for some time in Italy, is available through Frozen Seaman. I believe through Giacomo Capecci, so whenever you are interested, contact either Mohammed Al Omar or Giacomo. And it seems that Danat is not only able to produce some lovely fillies, he also already did some very good colts. And here we have one of his young sons. And Mohammed Al Omar decided to watch him carefully, given the chance to grow up well here at Danat Stud. He will be monitored. Mohammed is very strong in his selection. Only the very best can stay. And he has hopes in this colt. Very well built all over. Good type. Let's see how he will develop. Maybe we see him next year again at the Stud Farm presentation and tour in February 2021. And the next to come is a full sister to the boy you have just seen, and this is Mona Al Danat. Just this year she will celebrate her 3rd birthday. A very charming filly, very exotic expression. A chiseled head, fine muzzle, beautiful nostrils, good eyes, well set apart. Beautiful clean throat lash, fine neck. Well, this is definitely a young star here in the farm. And one can only, on one hand, congratulate Mohammed Al Omar for having bred such a very exquisite filly and wish him ongoing success with her, whether it is in the show ring or in the breeding barn. A fine representative of what Danat can do. Very special filly. Mabruk. Thank you. This was Mona Al Danat by Ez Al Danat and Afra Al Danat, Sinan Al Rayyan, and Hayaf Al Danat by Naif Al Danat. Exquisite pedigree, great genetic potential, and a lovely filly. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, will be Bedaya Al Danat. She is already a proven broodmare. Will be 9 years of age this year. Has already produced some outstanding stock, which you will see later. Seems to be again in foal, and we can only keep our fingers crossed that she will produce something again outstanding. We'll see 3 later on. Bedaya Al Danat is by Naif Al Danat out of Hayafa Al Danat, so she is a half sister to Afra Al Danat, you have already seen before, and the sire is Naif. It's, if this is correct, then it is close line breeding, some would say inbreeding, matter of definition. A mare with a great body structure combined with wonderful charm, loves to show off. She has a great charisma. Just snip your fingers and off she goes. Look at her, she's truly an eye-catcher. A very fine representative of the still young but extremely successful breeding program of Mohammed Al Omar. MashaAllah. We'll see her boy now to come in. His name is Saab Al Danat, and he's by Shamech Al Danat. Shamech by Ajmal Al Kut out of Ajmal Sharifa. Sharifa by Ansata Sirius, who was for several years chief sire at the Arabian Horse Center, Beit Al Arab, the state stud of Kuwait. He was not only used intensively by Beit Al Arab, but also by private breeders here in Kuwait, especially in the year when Hijazi was on lease for one breeding season to Al Rayyan farm. And Mohammed Mazouk gave Sirius one of his best mares, Jadi Al Rayyan. The result was Ajmal Sharifa. She matured into a spectacular broodmare and produced some outstanding stock for Mohammed Al Omar. And here we have a promising boy by Shamech Al Danat, who was shown successfully yesterday in the senior stallion class. a youngster still, and probably the first time he has his outcome in front of such a big audience. Fine colt. May he develop well and have a great future. Thank you so much. And here comes Ibtisam Al-Danat, born 2018. She is by Ez Al-Danat, the great son of Shamech Al-Danat. So very close related to the boy you have just seen. And look at her. This is truly something very special. I think she represents in a very fine way the goal of the breeding program of Mohammed Al Omar. He likes to see his horses having these chiseled heads. He loves them to have a very well set on neck. The neck needs to be in a good proportion to the length of the body. He likes to have a long croup, a nice tail carriage, and he wishes them to have ground covering movement. And this fine filly here, she has this exotic expression, the sweetness in her face, the charisma. And now being on the lead, even you see a very light movement. There is a lot of energy coming from behind. She reaches far under the body, lifts herself up in the front. Very fine filly. Born to be shown. Thank you. And Ibtisam Al-Danat now leaving the arena. We will then, in a minute, see Dana Al-Danat, daughter of Ansata Al-Mutajis out of Sanaya bint Maysoon. Sanaya bint Maysoon was bred in Germany, imported to Kuwait years back. Maysoon, one of the gorgeous sons of Ansata Halim Shah. Gold premium stallion, winner of the stallion licensing show in Germany. Had a huge influence on German Arabian horse breeding. Ansata Al-Mutajis bred, of course, at Ansata Arabian Stud, and at one of his many visits, Osama Al-Qasimi walked around the stables, went later on to Judy and Don and said, okay, I love what I see, but where are the secrets? And he kept on nagging and nagging and nagging, and then finally Judy couldn't do anything else than showing him also something else on top of those which he already saw, and right away his eyes were attracted by a colt named Ansata Al-Mutajis. And he noticed this is a hidden secret. I have to take him to Kuwait. Finally the deal was done, He came over to Kuwait, had a huge impact to Osama Al-Qasimi's Zain stud. At this time, his book was not open for other breeders. Later, he was given to Alal Rumi and Talal Nisf, and these generous breeders offered mutajis also for their friends. He became a great sire, not only for a Zain stud, but also for other breeders here in Kuwait. And Dana Al-Danat had just left the scene just to open this place here to show us some of her produce. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with one of the exquisite daughters of Dana Al-Danat, the mare who had just left the scene. Her name is Hessa Al-Danat, born 2018 by Ez Al-Danat. She is just in the beginning of her career, had already been shown, I believe. And look at her. I think she is definitely born to show. She truly loves to be presented in front of this extraordinary group of visitors. A gorgeous charm. See this elegance and beauty. Lovely charisma, truly an eye-catcher. Wherever she is shown, she attracts the eyes of all the people who adore her, whether in the show ring, attracting the eyes of the jury members, or at presentations like this today. A very fine representative of Al-Danat Stud's breeding program. Thank you so much. This is Hessa Al-Danat by Ez Al-Danat. The stallion truly makes a great job. The next to come is Dana Al-Danat's youngster. Her name is Sabah Al-Danat. It's a full sister to the filly you have just seen before. And you see the same amazing showy attitude. Loves to show off. A very fine and elegant filly. she's truly a crowd pleaser. This Ezra Danat definitely does a very good job. As said, right now residing at Al Rayyan and Al Shakab, being available maybe also for some other breeders in Qatar, and we can't wait to have him back here in Kuwait. Of course, as Al Danat is not only used by Al Danat Stud, but also by other breeders here in Kuwait, as breeders here in Kuwait love to support each other. It's a big family. There's not much jealousy around. It is just to support and to help each other. They applaud when they see their friends winning. They make the best stallions available for everyone who likes to use them. They help young and upcoming breeders to have a good start with their breeding programs. As they have been helped in the beginning, they like to give this also back to others. I mean, this is unique in the world. In other parts of the world, you find jealousy all over. People keep nagging on each other. Here, it's totally different. Kuwait's like paradise. The next to come is a young filly, just in the beginning of her career. Proudly shows her first foal. To come in is Nagamal Danat. She was born in 2015, and she is escorted by her little boy, by Ez Al Danat. Nagamal Danat is by Shamekh Al Danat and Ajmal Nazima by Ansata Hijazi. Nazima represents in a fine way the famous Moniat and Nefus family from the Saglawi Jedran strain Dalal. Bred at Ajmal Arabian stud. Mohammed Al Omar saw her at the farm of Mohammed Mazouk, fell in love with her, added her to his breeding program, and the decision definitely was a good one. Being a Shamekh Al Danat daughter, Nagamal Danat was then bred to Ez Al Danat, so it's a half-sister combination. And the result is in front of you. A very leggy boy. Fine neck, carried very nicely. Good in his throat. And he knows how to use his legs. Ground covering movements. Flipped tail, and here he goes. Very proud about himself. Very promising. Thank you. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, is Latifa Al Danat. She is a half-sister to the mare you had just seen before through the same mother, Ajmal Nazima by Ansata Hijazi. Latifa Al Danat's sire is Ajmal Mashrek. Mashrek is the son of Adnan out of Ansata Nefertiti. Pedigree reads like the who is who. And look at this mare. Gorgeous type. Elegant and refined. Silky skin, dark coat. Sorry, it's dark coat and silky skin, this way around. And extremely showy. She knows that she is a true beauty. Amazing charisma. All the horses from Al Danat stud are nicely square-shaped, not too long in the body, as you can see sometimes with modern type show horses. They're overall very balanced here at Al Danat stud. Very special. Thank you. And here we go with Nadra Al Danat by Ez Al Danat. I think she is from the first foal group Ez Al Danat produced here in this farm. I believe you easily can recognize the special look Ez Al Danat is giving. Mohammed Al Omar is extremely proud about him. And I mean, having a breeding program just only since about 10, maximum 15 years, and having already achieved these amazing successes, one can only congratulate Mohammed Al Omar as well as his team. He has the patience to wait, to give horses time to develop. He is strong in his selection, and he has a clear vision. So Nadra is by Ez Al Danat and Latifa Al Danat. Very fine representative of this breeding program. And as said, you clearly can see for what Mohammed Al Omar is looking for. She is one of his favorites. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Nadra Al Danat. Thank you very much. She knows what she has to do when being on the lead with the trainer. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, this is Karim Adel. Born 2013, she is by Jamil Al Rayyan out of El Bajja B. This B is for Babolna. And El Bajja is by Assad, stallion who was bred by Dr. Hans-Joachim Nagel. His Katharinenhofstadt, he is the son of Ansata Halim Shah, and if I'm not mistaken, out of Amina. Assad was for several years chief sire in the Hungarian state-stud Babolna. Later went to Germany, back to Germany. He was staying with Robert Schleret and Volker Wettengel of Alcázar Arabian Stud. And then he made a move far, far away to the other end of the world, to Argentina. And was standing at stud with Count Federico Cici Tyson. Jamil Al Rayyan needs no introduction. Proudly owned by Mr. Al Jasmi. We have the honor and privilege to welcome him here today. He already attended our show. Hope that he liked what he saw. Happy to have him here with us. Jamil Al Rayyan did a great job so far and still does. Bred at famous Al Rayyan farm. He was sold to Egypt, was residing there for some time. Then Mr. Al Jasmi got him. He gave him his trust and faith and was blessed with some outstanding stock. And so were other breeders who used him as he was available through frozen semen. He left behind some extraordinary stock in Egypt, as well as in Europe, and also here in the Gulf. And this is a very pretty filly, now with you by Dawaz Al Shakab. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikat Al-Danat, born 2009. She's by Sinan Al-Ayan out of Ajmal Mufida by Ansata Hijazi. And not written in your leaflet, this youngster just born during the show. When these papers were produced, he was even not on the ground. And while the team of Al Danat was at the show, celebrating their successes and cheering for their favorites, this young boy was born. He's by Shamekh Al Danat. His papa had to compete, and the boy was born. The mother, Malikat Al-Danat, is by Sinan Al-Ayan, as I said, by Ajmal, out of Ajmal Mufida. So she goes back to, she is Dahman Shawan, Farida Halima family. Muhammad Al-Omar purchased Ajmal Mufida at the same time as Ajmal Nazima. And he was blessed to have these beautiful two Hijazi daughters then here on his place. The next to come is a daughter from Malikat Al-Danat. Her name is Sultana Al-Danat by Ez Al-Danat, born 2018. Again, a very fine and typical representative of Al Danat's breeding program. She shows all the attributes Muhammad Al-Omar and Abdallah Al-Metrik are looking for. Charismatic type, noblesse and elegance, ground covering movements, nicely square-shaped, good length of leg. Overall, very refined and nicely built. If I'm not mistaken, she was already shown successfully. And she seems to enjoy being presented now today in front of our guests from all around the globe. Thank you. And the next to come, this will be Jazi Al-Danat, daughter of famous Ansata Hijazi out of Ajmal Sharifa. Ajmal Sharifa, the mother of Shamekh Al-Danat, Sharifa is by Ansata Sirius, son of Ansata Imhotep and Ansata Sekhmet, who is a full sister to Ansata Selket. Selket, the dam of Ansata Oseiron, the chief sire of Shekhasara Fahd al-Sabaz al-Arab-Stad breeding program. So we had in the Arabian Horse Center 2 pedigree full brothers, Sirius being owned by the Arabian Horse Center, Oseiron owned by Al-Arab-Stad. Pedigree full brothers looked totally different, produced different, and both were able to contribute a lot of good things for both farms, for Al-Arab-Stad as well as for the Arabian Horse Center. Both contributed beautiful mares which became foundation mares for our stock. The breeders who used these 2 stallions were blessed with wonderful brood mares. Ansata Hijazi needs no introduction, a legend of the breed. His influence reaches through all continents. Judy Forbes wrote a book about him and clearly mentioned he was born to rule. From royal descent, her latest book now honors Ansata bint Bukra, born to reign. And look at this gorgeous Jazi Al Danat. She represents in a very fine way the amazing genetic potential in her. She shows a wonderful exotic expression, and this is combined with a strong body and conformation. Has a beautiful tail carriage. And not only is she a fine producer, she conquers the show arena whenever she is presented. And the audience gets thrilled when they see her. Thank you. This is Jazi Al Danat, one of the diamonds here in the stables. Thank you. And the next to come is a half-sister to her. More than this, as Mafakra Al Danat, who will enter the arena in a bit, is by Jamil Al Rayyan, who is by Ansata Hijazi, the sire of Jazi Al Danat. So it's close related. Just 2 years of age. And here she comes. And look at her. She truly knows that she is a beauty. She knows she is special. And has this personality that enables her to conquer the heart of everybody who sees her. Great mover. Amazing showy attitude. Just only celebrating this year her second birthday. Truly a special feeling. Born to be shown. Thank you. The handler gets excited when he sees her in the arena. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, is a 9-year-old fine mare, Gosama Al-Mashrek. She's by Ansata Hijazi out of Gosama Al-Shakab, and Gosama Al-Shakab is the daughter of the fine stallion Ibn Nazima, bred and born at El Zahra at the EAO. As a young boy, he was purchased by Donald Duke, went to UK, stayed at stud for some time at Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof stud. A small number of breeders in Kuwait were able to use him, and they did with great success. And then he made his way from Katharinenhof stud to Al Rayyan farm. He produced some very fine broodmares for Al Rayyan. And also for some other studs in Qatar. And look at this fine mare. There's a full sister to her at Mohammed Mazouk's Ajmal Arabian stud. And Gosama Al-Mashrek too is a very fine representative of this noble blood. Shows a great conformation combined with crowd-pleasing type and attitude. Beautifully structured. Everything is nicely put together. She has everything a solid broodmare needs to have. Her sister Ajmal Jamila is one of the finest mares at Mohammed Marzouk's place. She too is a crowd pleaser, loves to present herself. Had already produced some nice stock for Ajmal Arabian Stud. Thank you. This was Gosma Mashrik, Al Mashrik. And we will have soon a very fine daughter from Shamekh Al Danat, one of the very fine daughters of Shamekh Al Danat with us, and this will be Rif Al Danat. She is out of Sakira Al Naif by Ansat Shalim. A fine mare, heavily pregnant. Let us keep our fingers crossed that Mohammed Al Omar will be blessed once again with a beautiful, charismatic filly. You need to talk to him to learn more about the breeding combination. I don't know which stallion he had used on her. Very fine mare. One of the treasures in the breeding barn of Al Danat stud. Just at the beginning of her breeding career, 6 years of age, might have had maybe 2 foals. Charming attitude, very much attached to her master. Comes close to Judy and says, "Hi Judy, I talk Ansata to you." Thank you very much. This is Rif Al Danat by Shamekh Al Danat out of Sakira Al Naif by Ansata Shalim. The next to come, ladies and gentlemen, is Halala Al-Shakab. She's by Al-Ladid Al-Shakab out of IS Galera, who is by Salah El-Din. Al-Ladid Al-Shakab by, as everybody knows, Ansata Halim Shah out of Sunda Liseya. Sunda Liseya, one of the foundation mares of Al-Shakab's breeding program. Al-Ladid had a huge influence not only on Al-Shakab stud, but many other breeding programs throughout the world. Multiple times Qatar national and international champion, All Nations Cup champion. I believe he was also world champion in Paris. He was shown in the United States successfully when he was with Michael Byatt. Produced some great stock also in the States, in Europe, and of course all around the Near and the Middle East. A fine mare with an amazing ground covering movement, which is very light. She's beautifully upright. Her hind legs are reaching far under the body. She lifts herself up in the front and off she goes. Thank you. Thank you. And in a bit you see her daughter by Ez Al-Danat. Will celebrate her second birthday soon. Expecting Hilala Al-Danat soon. And here she is. This is Hilala Al-Danat by Ez Al-Danat out of the gorgeous chestnut mare you have just seen before. I believe you clearly can see the influence of Ez Al-Danat. He shortened the back a bit. all the good things from both sides coming together and are combined in an ideal way. Very charming filly. She has the same light and elegant movement like her mum, with his far-reaching hind legs. And she also knows how to use her forearms, has long strides, puts her feet where the toe is showing when she is moving, not just putting it under the body, just only lifting up and then put the foot almost at the same step, at the same spot where she had left it from. Nice movement. Thank you. The next to come is Danat, born 2011. She's a daughter of Sinan Al Rayyan out of Fa'ina by Mishal HP. Mishal HP was the son of Ansata Sinan, out of Mesuda M, and she was a full sister to Imperial Madin. Mesuda M, as well as Imperial Madin, bred by Professor Dr. Paufler, Germany. Mesuda was later sold to Mr. Horst Preuss. That's why we have this HP behind the name of Mishal. Mishal was on lease first, later sold to Arabians Limited, and he did an amazing job in the United States. At the Arabian Horse Center, we were fortunate to be able to buy some frozen semen of Mishal, and we were blessed with a beautiful filly out of Mesk El Kuwait by Ansata Hijazi, one of our best producing mares. And this filly is really something special. We are very happy about her. In this way, we are introducing the blood of famous Imperial Madin into the breeding program of the Arabian Horse Center, but Mohammed Al Omar has this foresight. He tried this already by purchasing Fa'ina. She was bred by a small breeder in the north of Germany, small in number, but he had some really nice horses. Fa'ina made her way to Kuwait. Mohammed Al Omar used her wisely and is blessed with this beautiful Nuf Al Danat. We have double Ansata Sinan, as Sinan Al Rayyan is also by Ansata Sinan. You have it then through the mother as well as through the father. And look at her. One of the fine representatives of the exquisite broodmare band here at Danat. See how she moves. This is not just a crazy show trot. She has wonderful 3 natural gaits. Rhythm, cadence. A very fine mare, this new Danat. A treasure in the breeding barn. Thank you. The next to come is her fine boy. He's by Shamech Danat. Just a few weeks old, not yet named. If any one of you has a nice name for him, just let Mohammed Al Omar know. Cute little thing, very proud about himself. Loves to show. Next year we see him at the Breeders' Cup in Kuwait, 2021. Thank you very much. And now we have a true highlight of the presentation. And we'll see the queen of the barn, Shalwa. She's by Sinan Alayan out of Al Galia, and Al Galia is by Ansata Rial. Ansata Rial was purchased by the Arabian Horse Center from Ansata Arabian Stud. He was a very fine representative of the famous Kohailan strain, going back to Rialla family. Produced some very fine broodmares. One of them, Algalia, the grandmother of this cute boy who is by Asfo Alwar. Those of you who attended our Breeders' Cup Straight Egyptians have seen many Asfo Alwar get showing extremely successful. Among them, the gold champion senior mare. Also some beautiful colts by Asfo Alwar. Truly a great sire, although he is still very young and in the beginning of his career. There is not that large number of his produce, but so far all the breeders who have given him their trust and faith are blessed with exotic foals. Asfo Alwar is by Barakalalia. His mother is Sarah Al Jazeera, and she is by Adnan out of Ansata Selma. Shalwa had produced some outstanding stock so far. She is the mother of Ez Al Danat and several other beautiful offspring. People say you can breed her even to the donkey and it will be something outstanding. She is one of the foundation mares of Mohammed Al Omar's Al Danat stud. And truly a queen of his program. And look at her youngster. He seems to have the substance and the strong conformation of this gorgeous dam. There's the exotic expression of the father of Asfo Alwar. The finest is coming together in an ideal way. Beautiful colt. Mavruk. And after Queen Shalwa, we will now be able to welcome the stallion Power at Al Danat Stud. The big boys will be with you in a bit. And here we have, ladies and gentlemen, the king of the stallion barn, and this is Danat. He had just conquered the arena in Beit Al Arab's show facilities. He attracted the eye not only of the jury members, but of everybody who saw him. A stallion with an amazing charisma, type, presence, harmony, a ground-covering movement, and an amazing genetic potential. Danat is by Ajmal Al-Kut out of an Ajmal Sherifa. Sherifa by Ansata Sirius out of Jazi Al-Rayyan, and Jazi Al-Rayyan is by Alida and Ansata Sherifa. His sire, Ajmal Al-Quds, needs no introduction. This stallion unfortunately passed away much too early. He was a son of Ansata Hijazi, out of Ansata Malacca by Ansata Halim Shah. An amazing, charismatic stallion, gorgeous in type. Whoever saw him will never forget him. We had him on lease in Beit Al Arab in the Arabian Horse Center. We were blessed with 8 exquisite daughters and 2 sons. His son Marwan El Kuwait is the leading sire in the Arabian Horse Center. Danat was used intensively not only here in the farm, but of course also by private breeders, not only here in Kuwait. He resided for some time in Italy, was used intensively also by breeders in Europe, all over Europe. Spent some time at Ariela Arabian Stud, a breeding facility known for breeding some really outstanding horses. Truly a hero of the breed. Father of Ez Al-Danat, who is cherished already by many breeders. And it's a matter of personal type to decide who you love most, either the sire or the boy. Both of them became very influential already. Shamach, as he is the senior, but also Ez Al-Danat is making himself a great name as an outstanding sire. As I'm already an old man, I'm more with a senior stallion, and truly I love this Shamach. Look at him. One can only congratulate Mohammed Al Omar and his team for having bred this gorgeous horse. MashaAllah. Thank you so much. Good to have him back in Kuwait. Breeders in Europe still can use him through availability of frozen semen. Just contact either Mohammed Al Omar or Giacomo. I believe the frozen semen is stored there. Not only is he a charismatic stallion, he is also a true fine gentleman. Look at him. Lovely character. Very fine stallion. And the last one to come is a guest from Qatar, from Al Shakab Stud. Okay, I got completely mixed up. The other boy in front of Shamir Danat was Dawas Al Shakab by Safir out of NASA, and NASA is by Gadalla. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Mohammed Al Omar and Abdallah Al Metrik, for being such wonderful hosts. It was a pleasure for us all to be here. Really a wonderful day. Thank you, and God bless you.